Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to the draw for the AFC Under-19 Women's Championship Thailand 2019. I'm Alana Atkinson and I'm here to walk you through today's events, which are just moments away, as Asia's top female talent discover their opponents for this upcoming October Continental Finals. With the 8 finalists eagerly awaiting the results of the all-important, I'm joined once again by former China PR International and AFC Head of Women's Football, Bai Li. But before we get underway, let's remind ourselves of this tournament's proud history with a video looking back on past editions of the AFC Under-19 Women's Championship. It certainly is a tournament to have been graced by a lot of great players, and the next generation of AFC Under-19 Women's Championship are just moments away from learning who they'll meet in the finals. The excitement is certainly building, but before we get to the task at hand, let's take a quick look at how the draw will progress with this video on today's draw mechanics.
Draw principles. The draw will separate 8 teams into 2 groups. Teams will be allocated into 4 pots according to the team seeding. Draw mechanism. Draw will commence in the following sequence. Pot 4. The first team and second teams drawn will be positioned in A4 and B4. Pot 3 and 2. The same procedure will apply for pots 3 and 2. Pot 1. Thailand, as the host of the competition, shall be drawn first in a red colour ball and positioned as A1, with the second team taking position in B1. That will conclude the draw for the AFC Under-19 Women's Championship Thailand 2019.
Right then, now that we are all familiar with the draw process, let's take a look at some of the teams who will be taking part, starting with the host Thailand and holders Japan, as well as DPR Korea and China PR. Let's discuss the top seeds. Thailand were eliminated in the group stage 2 years ago, while Japan conquered not only Asia but the world. Liddy, what do you make of these 2 sides?
I think as the host country, Thailand, I already mentioned, the advantage they have as play home, and you have the family support, and you have familiar with all the environment. So I think apart from this, I want to mention is from these under-19 teams, they have a number of players who participated in the last under-16 AFC championship. So that means after 2 years, they gonna have more experiences, and also Thailand team, they always have some talent individual players with quick feet, fast speed. I think if they do more on the teamwork, they definitely will impress us in this tournament. For the Japan team, I think they already show us their strengths, their power in the youth age group, and actually for all age group. They already won 5 titles of this tournament. And afterwards, they also won the Under-20, Women's World Cup. So I think they are, at the same age group, they are more stable, as I mentioned earlier, and also they are more mature than the most of other teams from all aspects, technical, tactical, and the mental side. And they have quality players, of course. So I think do we expect more? And what we need to do is just watching a beautiful game from them and good results, I think.
Let's talk about the teams in Pot 2. DPR Korea are known as a women's youth football powerhouse and have been runners-up 4 times in a row in this tournament, while China PR are also regular contenders. Lily, do you see another successful showing for these two in this tournament?
I think for DPR teams, as you mentioned, that they are really strong in the youth tournament. And I think for this tournament, last year they didn't win the champion. But I think they are aimed not only for the tickets for next year's Women's Under 20 World Cup, but also for the champion. I think DPR Korea, they do have good players, especially they're producing strong strikers, scorers. So I think definitely from the results wise, they're gonna give a really good achievement. So I hope they can do what they want. And obviously ChinaDPR, they also have ambitions to get the tickets and also with a good title. And now, actually, an interesting thing is China team's head coach is a Korean, and he was a former national team player for Korea, but also the coach for both men's in club team in Korea and in China. So I think he gonna brought some experience in men's football then to women's football as well. So let's see what they can do in this tournament.
Japan were brilliant in winning the title in Nanjing 2 years ago, and as we've seen since, those players have gone on to bigger and better things with an Under-20 World Cup win and 4 players called up to the Women's World Cup in France next month. How does Japan continue to produce such outstanding young players?
I think Japan, they do have a good holistic and long-term plan to develop women's football from the grassroots school level to elite youth and to the senior teams. So it's really about their ambitions and also their actions and the investments for women's football. I think it's this is also give us our examples for other countries who want to have some good results. So it's not about just you want to, have this in like a dream, but you really need to have a plan and put it into actions and with patience and persistence to develop women's football. And many years back, 30 years back, at the time China was dominated in Asia, but just in 10 years later, 20 years, you see Japan was the boss for Asian women's football now. So I think this case really give you an example that you really need to work in women's football and with a good plan and also determination and the long-term investment.
I think we're going to see some really exciting things from Japan. But Lily, DPR Korea and China are both long-term Asian women's football heavyweights. Do you see them maintaining that status in this tournament, or is the gap closing to the teams who have traditionally just been below them in the pecking order?
I think these two countries, they have longer history to develop women's football in Asia. So that's why they are still in good position in women's football in Asia now. But I think they still need to, as I know, they're still improving themselves and, put more investment, in coach education, in all aspects. So I think for other teams, they are doing much better as well. So that's also give them a pressure to keep improving. And I also, in recent years, we see the rising teams like Thailand, Vietnam, Myanmar, and from the east, Jordans, and from the south, like India and Bangladesh and Uzbekistan. So I think they all, becoming are challenging, teams, a challenging force for the top teams to really push them into a higher position.
But we still have 4 more teams to take a look at. Before we appraise their chances, let's take a look at this video of our past winners. The superb Japan side of 2017 went on to become the world champions at the 2018 FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup. Well, we're just moments away from the moment of truth, and I'm joined once again by Bai Lili, who is running the rule over the teams in today's draw. We've taken a look at the teams who have automatically qualified into pots 1 and 2. Now let's examine the remaining 4 teams, all of whom negotiated the qualifiers to reach the final stage in Thailand. Lily, Australia and Korean Republic were in the same group in 2017. We know that won't be the case because they'll both be in pot 3 this time round. What do you make of their chances?
I think for Australian teams, they always facing the difficulties is about the traveling distance to any places in Asia. But fortunately, this time the new format for the tournament is we have 2 resting days between each games. So I think this is gonna make them easier. And also, I think for the Australian teams, they always have physical advantage compared to other teams. And now we also see that they're trying to play the position games and want to play the beautiful games. So let's see how they can make it to this tournament.
And what do you make of Korea Republic?
Korean Republic team, I think although they don't really have female coaches so far, but all the male coaches they are using, they worked for women's football for a long time. That means they're familiar with the own country's players' situations, and also be aware of the whole Asia's continent, the women's football and international as well. So I think for this group of the under-19 teams. Most of the players, they play the last under-16 AFC championship, and afterwards they get the tickets for the France, the under-17. So I think this is also give them a more experience in the international stage. I think I believe they're gonna play more mature in this tournament.
And that brings us to pot 4. And 2 Southeast Asian sides to have fought their way to the finals. Lily, what are you expecting to see from Vietnam and Myanmar?
I think these 2 are quite young teams in Asia. And in recent years, I already mentioned like Vietnam football really give us, surprise and really see the improvements. Both men's side and women's side. And also Myanmar in that regions, they play well in the SEA game as well. So I think we do expect these 2 teams to bring some fresh air to us in this tournament.
So Lily, Australia, Vietnam and Myanmar, what do you make of their chances for this coming finals?
I think 3 of teams all gone through the qualifier stage. I think sometimes, the teams who played the qualifiers and they got better performance than the teams who didn't go through the stage. I think this is because mentally and also physically get them prepared into the tournament earlier than the other teams who are waiting there. For example, Australia, I think physically they are stronger than the other Asian teams. And now they work more on the technical and tactical side. So I think there's quite a big chance for them to get better results in the final stage. And the Myanmar team and Vietnam, as I already mentioned, they are the 2 strong teams in the region. And they have their own playing style with good technique and really fast players. And especially Vietnam team, now they're having the senior national team head coach to coaching and leading this team to go through the tournament. So I think this is all the positive side to the Southeast Asia teams in the final tournaments. So I do expect them perform much better than the qualifiers as they already did the warm-up part.
Well,
Thank you, Diana. Good afternoon, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for being with us today for the draw of AFC Under-19 Women's Championship Thailand 2019 finals. And first of all, taking this opportunity, I would like to thank the Football Association of Thailand, Football Association of Chonburi, and also the Sports Authority of Chonburi to host both AFC Women's Youth competitions this year and to set up the stage for the young footballers to compete at a continental level. After a 2 hard-fought round of qualification, today we have 8 teams at the final stage to compete for this trophy. These 8 teams are divided into 4 pots, and the pot number are indicated in front of you. As explained in the draw mechanism video, we will start today's draw from pot 4, where we have two teams, Myanmar and Vietnam. So these two teams will be drawn into Group A and B in position 4. First team of today's under-19 draw, Vietnam. They have managed to qualify to the finals in 2017, and this is the consecutively second time they qualify. And the second team from pot 4 will be going to B4. That is Myanmar. They have missed the final stage in 2015 and 2017, but we are really happy they come back strong through the qualifiers. Moving on to pot 3, Australia and Korea Republic are in this pot, and they will be going to position 3 in the two groups. First team drawn will be going to A3. Australia, fourth place team from last edition, and their best performance was ranked number 3 in 2006. The remaining team will be going to B3. Korea Republic. Winner of 2004 and 2013. However, in the previous edition 2 years ago, they didn't qualify from the group stage. We will see whether they can have better performance this time. Coming to pot 2, we have DPR Korea and China PR. They will be going to position 2 in each group. First team going to A2, that is DPR Korea. A strong team in this age group. Since 2006, they have managed to qualify from the AFC finals to FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup for all the editions. And the remaining team from pot 2 will be going to B2. China PR. Winner in the competition in 2006. They have been stable in the top 3 teams in this competition. Okay, we're coming to the last 2 teams of today, and their position actually has been fixed, and we have already known the opponents for the host in Group A, and we can see the coach probably already considering the tactic for the competition. And the Thailand, identified in the red color ball, will be drawn first to be put in A1. Thailand. Active participants and hosted under-16 several times, and this will be the first time to host AFC Under-19 Women's Championship. And the last team for today's draw from pot 1 will be going to position 1 in Group B, that is defending champion Japan, and also the most successful team in under-19 age group in Asia. They have won 5 times the champion of this competition, and we will see whether they can win the champion 3 times in a row after 2015 and 2017. Now we have all 8 teams find their place in the groups, and we are really looking forward to a great competition this year, and we will see you all back in Chonburi, Thailand in October. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now let me do a recap for the draw results. Group A, we have Thailand as the host, DPR Korea, Australia, Vietnam. Group B, we have Japan, China PR, Korea Republic, and Myanmar. This now concludes the draw ceremony for the AFC Under-19 Women's Championship in Thailand 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you and the teams the best of luck. May the matches be played in the spirit of fair play. ขอบคุณและสวัสดีค่ะ Well, there you have it. The groups are locked in, the schedule is set, and the teams are good to go for the AFC Under-19 Women's Championship Thailand 2019. The tournament is due to begin on October the 27th, with all the action and drama you're expecting culminating in the final on November 9th. Don't forget to follow us on theafc.com for all the latest happenings and news on the competition, and also don't forget to follow us on all our AFC digital channels. I'm Alana Atkinson. Thank you very much for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.